Hello, everyone. My guest today is Pavel Ershov. He's building a tool called Directual.com. It's a low-code platform for building sophisticated applications. All right, Pavel, you ready to take us to the top?
Thank you.
All right, so tell us about Directual. Obviously, no-code is a very hot space right now. Who's paying for this platform?
Yes, absolutely. That is a hot topic, but we shall distinguish. There are low codes, no codes, very simple tools for building simple websites, landing pages, and low code, mostly low code tools for building complicated tools. And for them, the main stakeholder, the main player is IT department of the company.
So describe, are you focused on any specific niche, e-commerce, SaaS, something else?
No, we are creating general purpose no-code platform. And basically, we are focusing on back-end development. So we are covering perfectly all the issues connected with the database, user administration, back-end logic. So we are great with that.
Okay, and what are customers paying you per month on average, would you say?
There are two groups of customers. The first one, more significant, they pay $30 per month. They are indie developers, startup founders, just people who are building small applications, MVPs, or startups. And the other group of customers, they are paying $300 and more. They are companies, small and medium companies, and web development studios.
Okay, and how many customers are you working with today?
Today, we have about 2,000 users. In our SaaS version, 20 customers small and just 6 customers large. That is why we went public just in April 2020, this year. Before, we worked with enterprise customers, and most of our profits were for services. So we decided to pivot to purely SaaS model.
And what is SaaS revenue per month today?
Today is about 2K monthly, and we are going to reach at least 10 or 15K MRR by the end of this year.
So 10K monthly means you have about 200 or 300 customers paying $30 a month?
We have no. We have more revenue from services. So we still have revenue from services from our enterprise clients. And nowadays we have about 2K per month SaaS revenue.
I see. Got it. So you have about then how many customers do you have on the SaaS platform? 70, 80, 90?
About 50.
About 50. Okay, great. So walk through this transition. This is a beautiful moment where you go from service-based revenue to launching a SaaS platform, and it's not always easy. When did you make the decision to launch the SaaS platform?
So that decision was really tough because we had been developing this enterprise business model for years, and moreover, we attracted some funding from one of our enterprise clients. He invested in that model, but it turned out that the selling period, the pre-sale processes, all the pilots were too significant, and we needed too many people for the projects, and the profits were not enough. So
how much profits were you doing on that model?
So the turnover in 2019 was about $500,000, but at the same time, the costs were about $500,000, the costs for people. And that is why we had to decide to pivot to purely SaaS. We dismissed our project services teams. We kept only engineers, and we almost started from scratch. But thanks to that significant history with enterprises, we had a a technology, very good technology, but on the other hand, that was not simple enough to provide that technology on a SaaS model. So now we are working hard on make it simpler. So our early adopters is providing us with a lot of information about places where they got stuck.
So, Pavel, you mentioned one of your early enterprise customers invested in the company. How much have you raised total to date?
I could not disclose that, so I'm with the NDA signed, but that is about 1 million.
Okay. So, you've raised $1 million so far. And how many people are on the team now today?
4 people.
4 people. And are all of your engineers?
Yes, all the engineers. There were about 40 people in a service company, so we dismissed all of them.
How did you pay, even when you were building that in 2019, how did you pay 40 people with just $500,000 in annual revenue?
We are in Russia. The salaries in Russia are lower than in US, much lower.
So you're paying like 700, $800 a month, something like that.
Sometimes even less.
Wow. I want to move to Russia.
So that is why we have kept our headquarters in Russia. We kept our engineers in Russia, but nowadays we are working worldwide. We have clients from all over the world, the US, Europe.
Does it make you, so you've raised $1 million, and in order to get a return for your investors on the money you've raised, you've got to grow much bigger than $2,000 a month in terms of software revenue. I mean, does that ever worry you? Does that concern you at all?
It did, but we made a decision. We came up to the decision with our investor. So he saw the situation with our enterprise business model, and he approved our decision to pivot. So he still is a shareholder in our company, and that company is supporting our way towards SaaS model.
Very good. How did you get these 70 customers on the SaaS platform?
So that is a great question, because we tried to buy some Facebook ads, and that worked not so well as we expected. And there are 2 channels that really worked out. Turned out to be, the first is the posts on media, for example, on Hacker Noon, on dev.to. So they're just their blog posts with how to create something on Directual. And the second channel is communities. There are a lot of no-code and zero-code communities. You've mentioned that the topic is very hot, and those communities appear each and every week, new community. There are no-code lists, some directories of articles, and we are working with them. We are providing them with some tutorials, webinars, and that is a great channel for us.
How are you? Is there any tool you're using to go find these communities?
Some communities have found us by themselves, and others we found via Google. So we are Googling no-code communities, and there is a list.
That's great. And so when you do a webinar with a no-code community, do you give a revenue share to the community organizer?
We are providing them with a special reference link, and 30% of the first year subscriptions are for the partner. So that is a standard model.
Okay, interesting. Very cool. And do you feel like this model can help you grow to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in revenue?
Yes, I do believe in that. And moreover, we are aiming to develop our own community of Directual developers who will support newcomers, because the hardest thing for us is to help the people to overcome the threshold. It is not super easy to use our platform. It is complicated. It is not VIX or something similar. So community here could help us significantly.
Okay, Pavel, let's wrap up with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite book?
The favorite book, the business book.
Any book.
Okay, let it be the very vivid book by Felix Dennis, How to Get Rich.
Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Yes, there is the true entrepreneur, Richard Branson.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
Say Dropbox and Dropbox Paper.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
From 7 to 8.
Okay, and what's your situation, Pavel? Married, single, do you have kids?
Single, and as far as I know, no kids.
And how old are you?
33.
33. Last question. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20 years old?
That I should invest into Bitcoin some years later.
Bitcoin just popped last night, folks, over $11,000. Pavel Ershov is building Directual, which did $500,000 in top line revenue in 2019 as an agency with 40 employees. He laid off 36 of those employees, is now pure SaaS, is serving 50 customers, doing $2,000 a month in revenue, and scaling that by doing white label webinars with other no code or low code community leads. He thinks he can scale the business to $1 million run rate using this go to market strategy. We'll see what happens. Pavel, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks for having me.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it, and the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.